The story opens amid a tense era in the galaxy, where Earth has emerged as a rising power, cautiously navigating the complex web of alien alliances and rivalries. Among the most feared and infamous players in this galactic chessboard is the Draconian Empire, a ruthless and expansionist alien civilization. Their massive fleet, known as the Draconian Fleet, has a brutal reputation for conquering star systems with overwhelming force and little mercy. One day, Earth's advanced deep space monitoring systems pick up an unprecedented signal. The entire Draconian fleet is on the move, traveling toward the distant and largely uncharted Orion Nebula, a volatile sector known for strange cosmic phenomena and high risk for any spacefaring vessels. This fleet consists of hundreds of massive warships, flagship carriers, and swarms of fighter craft, all operating under a strict command structure. Human analysts and military officials watch closely, anticipating a possible show of force or territorial expansion by the Draconians. Communications between the fleet's ships continue normally for several hours, relaying typical fleet maneuvers and status reports. Then, without warning, all signals abruptly stop. No distress calls, no battle reports, no signs of enemy activity, just total silence. The Draconian fleet vanishes from all scans. This is unprecedented. Even when engaged in battle, such a large force would maintain some communication or leave detectable signs of conflict. Earth's political and military leadership quickly convene an emergency summit. The lack of any transmissions is a source of great concern and confusion. Theories range from sabotage and internal rebellion within the Draconian command to the fleet being ambushed by an unknown enemy, or even a catastrophic cosmic event that could have disabled or destroyed the fleet. To get answers, Earth sends out an elite reconnaissance mission aboard the starship Hawkeye, outfitted with the latest stealth technology and sensor arrays. The Hawkeye is tasked with traveling to the last known coordinates of the Draconian fleet to investigate the mystery. As the Hawkeye approaches the coordinates near the Orion Nebula, the crew prepares for the worst, aware that the fate of the Draconian fleet could dramatically alter galactic power balances. Upon arrival, the Hawkeye's sensors detect no active ships, no life signs, and no communications. The area is eerily quiet, an unsettling void where a massive armada once moved with purpose and precision. The ship's scans show faint traces of energy signatures consistent with recent ship activity, but no wreckage fields that usually accompany space battles. The crew searches for clues, debris, radiation spikes, or any signs of struggle, but finds none. The absence of survivors or any form of signals only deepens the mystery. The silence is unnatural and overwhelming. This opening part builds suspense and tension by portraying the sudden and inexplicable disappearance of a feared alien fleet. It raises critical questions. What could annihilate such a powerful force without a trace? Is there a new threat lurking in the cosmos? Or did the Draconians stumble upon a cosmic anomaly beyond their understanding? The vanishing sets the stage for the investigation and exploration that will follow, hooking the audience with a compelling mystery that drives the narrative forward. It also introduces Earth as an active player seeking answers and preparing for the unknown dangers ahead. After the shocking disappearance of the Draconian fleet, Earth's reconnaissance starship Hawkeye arrives at the last known coordinates near the Orion Nebula to investigate the mystery firsthand. This sector, already notorious for cosmic hazards and unusual spatial phenomena, now seems to hold an even darker secret. The moment the Hawkeye enters the sector, the crew is struck by an overwhelming silence, both literally and figuratively. The ship's sensors, designed to detect the faintest traces of life and technology, pick up nothing but a vast emptiness. No energy signatures of active ships, no radio chatter, no heat signatures. This silence is unnerving, especially given the sheer size and strength of the Draconian fleet that was expected to be there. The nebula itself looms large in the background, a swirling mass of gases, stars, and electromagnetic anomalies. The crew is aware that the nebula is a hazardous environment. Its thick clouds distort communications and sensor readings, making long-range scans difficult and unreliable. Despite this, the complete absence of signals is beyond anything they anticipated. The Hawkeye begins a systematic survey of the area, scanning for debris fields or wreckage. Normally, when a fleet this large is destroyed or crippled, it leaves behind a massive trail of floating wreckage, scattered equipment, and sometimes derelict escape pods. But here, the absence of debris is just as mysterious as the silence. As the crew investigates, they notice strange energy readings, unusual pulses and fluctuations that don't match any known natural or artificial phenomena. These energy signatures are erratic and difficult to interpret. They also detect bizarre distortions in space-time itself, minute warps that suggest something is interfering with the very fabric of reality. Meanwhile, the Hawkeye's crew members begin reporting odd experiences. Some feel brief moments of disorientation, as if time itself stutters around them. Others see fleeting, shadowy figures on sensor feeds that vanish when approached. These anomalies add a psychological strain to the mission, amplifying the eerie atmosphere of the silent sector. The command crew debates possible explanations. Could this be the work of a new weapon, a previously unknown natural cosmic force, or perhaps an alien entity with powers beyond current understanding? The possibility that the Draconian fleet was wiped out by a phenomenon that leaves no trace challenges everything humanity believes about space warfare and survival. Tensions rise aboard the Hawkeye as the crew realizes they are not just investigating a lost fleet. They may be entering a trap or confronting a force that could threaten Earth itself. The silence becomes a haunting presence, a reminder that something unknown and possibly hostile lurks in the shadows of the nebula. At the same time, the political stakes back on Earth intensify. Military leaders and scientists push for answers, eager to understand the threat before it reaches human space. The story builds suspense by mixing scientific inquiry with growing dread, as the unknown presence in the nebula remains elusive yet palpably dangerous. Part 2 sets the tone for the deeper exploration of the mystery, shifting from the initial shock of disappearance to an active investigation filled with unknown threats and psychological tension. The crew's encounters with inexplicable phenomena hint at the complexity and power of whatever destroyed the Draconian fleet, raising the stakes and deepening the central mystery. Following the eerie silence and strange phenomena encountered in the silent sector near the Orion Nebula, Earth's reconnaissance ship Hawkeye pushes deeper into the mystery of the vanished Draconian fleet. The absence of survivors are clear. Wreckage has left the crew baffled, but hope remains in piecing together what might have happened by analyzing the scattered clues left behind. As the Hawkeye combs the area, they recover fragments of destroyed Draconian ships, twisted metal, shattered armor plates, and shards of technology floating silently in space. These fragments are surprisingly intact in some places, suggesting the destruction was sudden and overwhelmingly powerful, but without the chaotic debris fields typically left after prolonged space battles. The crew's technicians carefully collect and analyze encrypted data logs salvaged from damaged Draconian ships. These logs, although heavily scrambled and protected by advanced alien encryption, contain crucial clues. After intense decryption efforts, small fragments of communications emerge. Cryptic warnings, references to an unknown attacker described as the Void's Hunter, and hurried distress signals hinting at an invisible and unstoppable force. Among the recovered technology, the Hawkeye's science officers identify unusual artifacts that don't match any known Draconian or human technology. These alien fragments emit weak but complex energy signatures, suggesting a technology far beyond current understanding, something that could manipulate space or matter at a fundamental level. Tensions rise as Earth's experts speculate about the nature of this mysterious force. Is it a new weapon deployed by a secret faction, or an ancient entity awakened from the nebula's depths? The presence of unfamiliar symbols etched onto the fragments hints at a civilization unknown to both humans and Draconians, raising questions about ancient cosmic rivalries and hidden dangers. Meanwhile, the Hawkeye detects a faint, intermittent distress signal emanating from deep within the nebula, far weaker and more distorted than any human or Draconian transmission. This signal doesn't match any known language or technology, but it carries a clear urgency, almost like a warning. Determined to understand the source, The Hawkeye's crew modifies their sensors to focus on the mysterious distress call, despite the risk of exposing themselves to unknown dangers. The search leads them into regions of the nebula, with even more severe spatial distortions and electromagnetic interference, further complicating their mission. As they draw closer, the crew begins to experience more frequent and disturbing sensor anomalies. Instruments fluctuate wildly, and some systems temporarily fail or produce conflicting data. Crew members report brief flashes of inexplicable images on their displays, ancient symbols, strange geometries, and shadows moving just beyond sensor range. The atmosphere aboard the Hawkeye grows increasingly tense. The lines between technology and unknown forces blur as the crew confronts phenomena that defy explanation. This part of the story blends intense scientific investigation with growing psychological pressure, emphasizing humanity's vulnerability when facing truly alien mysteries. Part 3 deepens the narrative by introducing tantalizing clues that point toward a force far older and more powerful than the Draconian Empire, or even Earth's technology. It pushes the story from mystery into discovery, revealing that the fate of the Draconian fleet is tied to something lurking within the nebula, something that challenges the very nature of reality. The stage is set for a confrontation with this unknown presence, raising the stakes for Earth and the galaxy at large. The Hawkeye's crew is now not only searching for answers but also racing against time to prevent this force from becoming an even greater threat. Following the unsettling discoveries in the Silent Sector and the cryptic distress signals deep within the Orion Nebula, Earth's crew aboard the Hawkeye prepares to confront the source of the deadly force that annihilated the Draconian fleet. What began as a mission to investigate a vanished armada has now escalated into a perilous encounter with a hidden and mysterious threat, one unlike anything humanity has faced before. As the Hawkeye advances toward the origin of the distress call, the crew is met with increasing anomalies that challenge their understanding of physics and technology. Instruments malfunction inexplicably, communications grow distorted, and even time itself appears to behave erratically within the nebula's depths. These distortions create an oppressive atmosphere of uncertainty, making the mission as much a psychological ordeal as a scientific expedition. Earth's military command, scientists, and intelligence officers work in tandem to analyze all gathered data, revealing that this hidden threat may be an ancient, biomechanical entity, a fusion of organic life and machine. The entity appears to have existed in seclusion for millennia, guarding the nebula as its domain. Its nature is unlike any known species or technology. It manipulates energy and space itself, capable of annihilating entire fleets with terrifying efficiency and leaving no survivors or debris behind. The Hawkeye's sensors detect faint, but distinct signs of this entity's presence, massive energy fluctuations and gravitational distortions that ripple across the surrounding space. However, attempts to directly observe or communicate with the entity are met with cryptic interference. It's as if the entity can cloak itself, blending into the cosmic background and appearing only when it chooses. The crew debates the entity's motives. Is it a guardian, punishing any who dare trespass, or a predator, hunting those who enter its territory? The recovered Draconian logs hint at fear and desperation, describing it as the Void's Hunter, a merciless force that strikes without warning or mercy. As the Hawkeye ventures closer, the crew experiences unsettling psychological effects. Some members report visions or hallucinations, fleeting glimpses of alien landscapes, strange symbols, or memories that aren't their own. These mental intrusions suggest the entity might possess psychic or telepathic abilities, further amplifying its power and mystery. The mission's commander faces a critical decision: attempt peaceful communication, risking the crew's safety, or prepare for combat against an unknown and possibly invincible foe. The stakes are immense, as failure could mean Earth's annihilation if the entity perceives humanity as a threat. Parallel to the mission, Earth's leaders debate broader implications. If such an ancient force exists, what else lurks in the uncharted depths of space? How should humanity prepare for threats that defy current technology and military doctrine? The tension between curiosity and fear drives the narrative forward. Part 4 heightens the story's suspense by unveiling the true nature of the threat, a sentient, ancient, biomechanical guardian or predator that destroyed the Draconian fleet without a trace. The Hawkeye's crew is thrust into an unprecedented confrontation where conventional weapons and tactics may be useless. The chapter explores themes of the unknown, the limits of human understanding, and the fragile place of humanity in a vast, indifferent universe. It sets up a crucial turning point where survival depends on wit, diplomacy, and courage against an enigmatic cosmic force. After uncovering the existence of the ancient biomechanical entity lurking in the depths of the Orion Nebula, the crew of the Hawkeye finally makes contact with the hidden threat. This pivotal moment marks the story's climax, where mystery gives way to a direct confrontation that will determine not only the fate of the Hawkeye's crew, but potentially the survival of Earth itself. The encounter begins when the Hawkeye penetrates the heart of the nebula, an eerie region marked by swirling cosmic gases and intense electromagnetic storms. As the ship approaches the source of the earlier distress signals, sensors suddenly spike with energy readings unlike anything the crew has encountered, massive fluctuations that seem almost alive, responding to the Hawkeye's presence. At first, the entity remains unseen, cloaked in a veil of cosmic radiation and shifting energy fields. The ship's advanced sensor arrays struggle to maintain a stable lock. Suddenly, a colossal form materializes, an immense biomechanical structure, part organic, part machine, pulsing with alien energy. Its surface shimmers with strange geometries and flickering lights, giving it an almost otherworldly beauty despite its lethal nature. The entity communicates, not through words, but via a psychic transmission that invades the minds of the crew. Images and emotions flood their thoughts, memories of ancient battles, warnings of cosmic balance, and a chilling message that humanity's presence in the nebula is both a threat and a test. The crew quickly realizes this entity is a guardian of the nebula, designed to eliminate any fleet that dares to disrupt its domain. The Draconian fleet's destruction was swift and absolute because they triggered the entity's defensive protocols, failing to comprehend its power and purpose. Captain Alara Dax, commanding the Hawkeye, initiates a risky attempt at communication, using advanced Neuralink technology to establish a mental dialogue with the entity. The entity responds with complex visual and emotional sequences, revealing it was created by an ancient civilization long vanished, tasked with preserving the nebula's cosmic secrets from exploitation. The crew learns that the nebula conceals a powerful energy source that could either propel human technology centuries forward or annihilate entire star systems if misused. The entity's role is to protect this secret at all costs. Tensions escalate when the entity challenges Earth's intentions. It demands proof that humanity can respect the cosmic order and coexist without greed or aggression. The Hawkeye's crew struggles to convey Earth's desire for peace and exploration, but communication is fragmented and fraught with misunderstanding. Meanwhile, subtle damage to the Hawkeye mounts, systems fail, and life support is compromised as the entity tests the ship's defenses. The crew must balance between negotiation and survival, knowing that any misstep could provoke a fatal attack. The encounter is both a battle of wills and a test of empathy, highlighting humanity's potential for diplomacy and respect amidst an indifferent universe. It underscores the theme that survival depends not only on firepower, but also on understanding and cooperation with forces far beyond human experience. Part 5 reaches a dramatic crescendo by revealing the entity's motivations and establishing the high stakes for Earth. It challenges human assumptions about dominance and control in space, emphasizing the need for humility when facing ancient cosmic powers. This section sets up the final resolution, where the crew's decisions and actions will determine whether Earth gains a powerful ally, suffers destruction, or faces an even darker fate. Following the tense and profound encounter with the ancient biomechanical entity in the heart of the Orion Nebula, the final chapter of the story unfolds, revealing Earth's hard-earned revelations and the lasting consequences of their confrontation. The fate of the Hawkeye's crew and the broader future of humanity hinge on this climactic resolution. As the entity slowly withdraws its immediate threat, a fragile truce is established. Through continued mental communication and advanced neurolink technology, the crew gains deeper insight into the entity's purpose and origin. It reveals that it was created eons ago by a civilization that transcended physical form and merged technology with consciousness, aiming to preserve cosmic balance by protecting the nebula's potent energy source from exploitation and destruction. The nebula itself, once thought to be just a hazardous cosmic phenomenon, is now understood as a vital nexus of energy that sustains parts of the galaxy's natural order. Any attempt to harness or disrupt this energy risks catastrophic consequences, ripples that could unmake stars or collapse entire star systems. This revelation forces Earth's leaders to reconsider their approach to space exploration and expansion. The knowledge that some forces are beyond human dominion and that respect for ancient cosmic custodians is crucial reshapes diplomatic and military policies. Earth begins to advocate for cautious cooperation and restraint, rather than aggressive conquest in the wider galaxy. Back aboard the Hawkeye, the crew reflects on their harrowing journey. The ordeal has tested their resilience, unity, and ability to confront the unknown with both courage and humility. Many have been changed profoundly by their experiences, especially Captain Alara Dax, who now understands that true strength lies not just in technology or firepower, but in empathy and wisdom. Meanwhile, the political ramifications ripple through Earth's government and the broader interstellar community. The disappearance of the Draconian fleet, once a feared and dominant force, serves as a stark warning about the limits of power in the galaxy. Alien species and human factions alike begin to acknowledge that ancient cosmic forces may shape galactic politics in ways previously unimaginable. Scientists on Earth commence new programs dedicated to studying the nebula's energy and the entity's unique biomechanical nature. They hope to unlock some of its secrets without repeating the mistakes of the past. These efforts aim to balance curiosity with caution, striving to avoid provoking similar destructive forces elsewhere. The story closes on a note of cautious optimism. Although the threat of the ancient entity remains, humanity has gained valuable knowledge and a tentative alliance, one that could serve as a foundation for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect with cosmic phenomena far older than any civilization. 6 serves as a powerful conclusion that ties together the narrative threads of mystery, discovery, confrontation, and growth. It emphasizes themes of humility before the vastness of space, the responsibility that comes with knowledge, and the potential for cooperation in a universe filled with unknown dangers. The ending leaves readers with a sense of awe and respect for the cosmos, reminding them that not all threats can be conquered by force, and that sometimes survival depends on understanding and honoring the forces that transcend even the most advanced technology.